This is a Weekend Explorer Quick Trip. Tybee Island sits off the coast of Georgia, just a short half-hour's drive from Savannah. Tybee Island and its naturally pristine neighbor Little Tybee Island are known for their coastal salt marshes, natural beaches, sand dunes, and subtropical forests. These habitats attract a wide variety of wildlife, perfect for nature lovers to explore. We joined Captain Renee Height for a birdwatching tour to Little Tybee Island.
Big tide like this will come in and flood the marsh, and it'll pick up all the dead spartina grass and float it out into the creeks. And as it floats in the creeks, it decays and turns into what they call detritus, and plankton eats it. And then everything in the marsh, all the filter feeders, the clams, the mussels, everything eats the plankton. The menhaden, which are popular fish, they eat the plankton, and in turn the dolphin eat them. So it starts the whole food chain. The marsh is just incredibly rich.
The dolphins are eating what from them?
They're eating menhaden. We might see some of them today. They boil on the surface. They're little silver fish. They're the biggest fish crop in Georgia. They make fertilizer out of them.
Oh, great.
They eat a lot of different things.
Yep.
But what's interesting about with the plankton, like the area we're going to next has a 70-foot deep hole. You know, most of the area is shallower in here, but there's a 70-foot deep hole. Because it's so deep, you have a lot of movement in the water. You have hot water rising and cold water sinking, and it stirs up the bottom, all the minerals. And so then there's tons of plankton eating the minerals. And because you have tons of menhaden, you almost always have dolphin.
That's cool.
As we got further along on our journey, the civilization of Tybee Island receded into the distance, and the wilds of Little Tybee Island began to surround us. While cruising along in these marshes, I couldn't help think of Blackbeard again. Pirates often used sea marshes like these to conceal themselves and their skiffs. Sometimes this was to take a ship by surprise, and other times to avoid being captured and hanged. The water here is shallow, and the sandbars are constantly shifting, preventing any warship from pursuing pirates into the marshes. The more pristine the habitat, the more wildlife we began to see. This is especially true of birds. These salt marshes are home to many species of wading birds, including 9 local species of egrets and herons, white ibis, the endangered wood stork, and rarest of them all, the oyster-catcher. There are only about 90 breeding pairs of oyster-catchers in the entire state of Georgia, so we felt very lucky to get to see these birds. Birds migrate south from the Arctic to escape the cold, and some winter on Tybee Island's warm beaches. Sounds like some people from New England I know. In all, over 200 species of birds can be found here. Many of these are rare and endangered. Fall and spring is the peak of the migration and the best time for bird watching. We kept catching fleeting glimpses of dolphins. Renee told us that normally there are more of them, but they had retreated into the marsh creeks to protect themselves from yesterday's tropical storm. Visit us online at weekendexplorer.com. Watch full episodes on PBS and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.